during the time of Rabbi Abba Bibbins, and even down to King Marsha, Elder High Priest Arya, Elder High Priest Yaquab, the information that we're getting from the Israelite foreigners, that wasn't taught back then. As a matter of fact, you know what proves that? The Cornelius issue. Cornelius, back then it was taught Cornelius was this crazy so-called white man who was holding the Bible like this, right, while we went into slavery. That's actually what was taught. And through the Spirit of Yahweh Shai reveal what that really meant. Acts the 10th chapter, Acts the 11th chapter. The Spirit of Yahweh Shai revealed it to us that no, Cornelius is a Hebrew Israelite. Okay? Then we started getting into the understanding of the Israelite foreigners. Okay? That wasn't brought out hot and heavy back then. You know, beginning with Elder Pastor on down, we started bringing that information out because it was time for it. As a matter of fact, you go back to 1 West, there was a time, if you look like a so-called white, if you look at the different camps, right, especially our camp, mainly really our camp, you see a lot of Israelites that look like straight up so-called white people. There was a time you couldn't come into the school 1 West 125th Street if you look like that. And I know that for a fact because I was back there. They would question you to death. What's your father? What's your grandfather? What's your great-great-grandfather? You notice we don't do that anymore because we understand that you're going to have Israelites scattered among the different nations looking like the different nations, in particular the Edomites. That's why we don't do that. But there was a time when they would ask you, if you happen to look like Elder Apostle Ramla, let me give you an example. When he first came to school, he had a hard time. Guys were looking at him funny, like, this guy's an Edomite, man. This guy, you know, just by the way he looks. Now, you all know better than that. Elder Apostle Ramla, that's a man of the Lord. One of those top men. Those are facts. But back then, he had a, you know, because that was the sentiment back then. That's before the Israelite foreigner thing came out. So you see, that's a beautiful thing that, beginning with Cornelius, that's a beautiful thing that that information came out. And that set the stage for all you brothers that look like the different nations, in particular the Edomites, for you to come into this thing and not be bothered, as you would be back then. Okay? And how do I know? Because I was back there. That's how I know. So that was a beautiful thing that Yahweh Shem Yahushua revealed, that understanding of Cornelius. And not only just Cornelius, the understanding of the Israelites being scattered among all nations, looking like the other nations. And we saw that way back then. At the Cornelius Council, you know, I'm not trying to lift myself, but I made the statement that not every Israelite is going to look like John Shaft, meaning the so-called Negro. Okay? And a lot of dudes got mad. You could have felt the tension in that room. Okay? And those that were there, they could testify to what I'm saying, that it's the truth. Okay?